now. Welcome back to the episode of Green Nose Bad Baby! Let me tell you this right now. Let me tell you this, yo. We got some big news we gotta drop. Don't we, Crow?
Yeah.
That's right. And let me just get right to it, okay? So, we did an episode a couple of weeks back that featured our buddy Leonard on it, okay? Let me see what episode that was exactly. That was episode 171, okay? Now, on that episode, it was revealed that our buddy Leonard is a 28-year-old virgin. 28, 29, right? And our minds were blown because he went to the same school as us and everybody was fucking back then, okay? We were like, how the hell did you leave there
just
without
right through
having
the cracks?
sex, right? And he said, I don't know. We got into an in-depth conversation about him being a virgin and how far he's gone. So you can go back and check out 171 to hear all that. But the big news is Leonard is no longer a virgin. Yeah!
Yes.
Now, here's the thing, right? If you want to hear all about who he lost his virginity to, how he lost his virginity, what it was like for him to finally enter the pearly gates,
And the saints we are.
you're going to have to hear all about it next week on the 6-Hour Spectacular, baby. The 4th annual 6-Hour Spectacular is coming May 28th. It's going to be awesome. Leonard's going to be there early on in the show to tell us all about his experience. But that's not it, because like I said, we got 6 hours of content to deliver to you. You're going to be hanging out with us. And we also got Crow over there is going to be eating the sourest candy in the world that day.
Can I handle it? Can I handle
it?
it? I think so.
Not only is he doing that, he's going to do it with a twist. Okay, he's not just going to eat the sourest candy normally. There's going to be a twist to it, and you need to come listen or watch and see what that twist is. Speaking of ingesting things, I'm going to be ingesting some disgusting sodas on that on that podcast that I've never even had before. We're going to have an enchilada soda. I'm going to drink a mustard soda. I'm going to be drinking, I think, a buffalo wing soda. There's a bunch of nasty sodas up in there that I'm going to be drinking. I'm also going to be doing a little scary section. We're going to be doing a spooky conversation. You know I love to do those. We're going to be talking about a very famous, a very scary haunting, a very famous haunting in history. I'm not gonna say which one it is. You're gonna have to wait till the 6 hour to check that out. But it's gonna get wicked. It's gonna get creepy. So make sure you tune in. We got a bunch of other stuff too. We're bringing a special guest that y'all never seen before. You guys, but you've heard about this person because we have our buddy EJ come on the show, and we have discussed what a bad boyfriend he was in high school. So It just so happens that his ex-girlfriend, Vanessa, is a big fan of the show. Shout out to Vanessa. We've shouted her out before.
What's up, sis?
And she is going to be making an appearance on that episode to tell us all about, what she thinks of the show, blah, 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 but also to talk to EJ. All right, we're going to get the dirt. We're going to get the scoop. So now, obviously, the show is subject to change. Segments are subject to change. We got a bunch of other stuff we're going to do. So things hopefully everything lines up the way it's supposed to, but that is what's slated to go down. So make sure you come back on May 28th and check it out. It's going to be amazing. Ain't that right, Crow?
And that's a fact. We're going to have a bunch of girls hitting EJ up or trying to find him on some social media, trying to get him to save his little ass after this,
Try and
after hearing all the abuse that he causes.
They're going to try and correct him. He will be corrected. Listen, speaking of people needing to be corrected, apparently the city of New York and Dublin, Ireland decided that people needed to be corrected because I don't know if you saw, did you see the portal that they erected in New York City, portal? So if you didn't see it, there's this big circular screen that they erected in New York City, and then they erected one in Dublin so that each place could see each other on a live 24-hour feed. People were having a lot of fun. They were meeting people, but things got a little crazy. Things got a little out of hand, okay? The first one I saw was on the Dublin side. They put up a picture of the Twin Towers burning, and everybody lost their minds. I saw
Love
also
it.
on the Dublin side somebody snorting coke. I saw somebody mooning the New York side, and on the New York City side, we had a woman flash her boobs to the Dublin side. And there were a few other things going on the New York side that I can't remember. There was some other shenanigans going on. But anyway,
I feel like these were like really bad places to put these portals. I mean, like too aggressive places,
those are the best
known
places.
for their attitude, humor, drinking,
Where are we gonna put it? Like
beautiful
Wyoming
women.
and Kansas?
I
Boring.
mean,
Where are they
what
gonna
did
put
they
it?
expect? It's New York City.
And
No
it's
one was going to
Ireland.
behave with a portal.
No. So it got so out of control that they decided to shut it down the other day. They shut it down. The portal's no longer in use. Boo, boo, R.I.P. portal, right? But then, see, I was going to come on the show and do a eulogy for the portal and talk about how awesome it was. But then, as I wake up this morning, I see on my news feed that the portal is back, baby. But
Let's go.
it's
Let's
back
go.
with a certain stipulation and with guidelines. Number one, there's going to be security there to make sure nobody's getting out of hand. Yep. There's going to be security there, make sure nobody gets out of hand. There's also going to be a time frame now. It's only going to be open from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Oh my
Boring.
Listen, I was going to actually go to this site when I visit the family, but not anymore.
And
Took the whole
now,
fun away.
if somebody gets too close to the camera, it's going to blur. I guess because they're afraid like somebody's going to show their boobs again. Somebody's going to show their cock again. Oh, I remember somebody put porn on the screen. I think that was also from the Dublin side. I can't remember which side it was.
That's
They flashed
hilarious.
some porn.
And really bad. Don't do that.
It was a grand old time, and it looked like I was saying when I saw like who cares about that? Like I wouldn't care about that. It doesn't look interesting to me at all. But then when I saw all the fun everybody was having, I was like, oh, you know what? That looks kind of fun. That looks like a real party. But there had to be party poopers, and by party poopers, I don't mean the people that were out there having a fun time. I mean New York City and Ireland, the governments.
Come on now.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What are we in some Orwellian 1980? You can't flash a couple boobs. You can't snort some blow. You can't show your ass now. First of all, boobs not illegal. You can do that. You can walk around topless as a woman in New York City, and it's not illegal. I remember there was like a porn star that did it. Not illegal. Blow, that is illegal. But I mean, just a little blow never hurt nobody. Everybody wasn't doing blow. I mean, come on.
It's just one moment. 2:00 in the morning. You know?
What is this? Next thing you know, they're gonna be fucking. They're gonna be taking away your freedom of speech. They're gonna come for the rest of your rights. Speaking of things dying, there's something else that is dying, and that is the Panera Bread charged lemonade. We've done.
No, I didn't know you even had it yet. Come on.
Well, you better go get it because it's not off the menu yet, but it will be off the menu soon. So you better go get it. Don't fuck around like you be doing when we tell you to watch certain movies. So go get it, okay? Because it's going off the menu. Now, they didn't clarify. They didn't explain why it's going off the menu. We can only imagine that it's going off the menu because it has been linked to deaths and it's been linked to heart issues. There were 2 deaths that Panera is being sued for because they claim that it was due to the charged lemonade. Also, a woman has permanent heart conditions, look like, and she's blaming it on the charged lemonade. And now, after they announced the death of the charged lemonade, an 18-year-old boy had to be revived, had to be resuscitated after he drank one of the charged lemonades.
I don't think I want this lemonade, no damn.
Listen, you got to give it a shot. You've done the hottest pepper in the world, the hottest chicken in the world. Try this.
Nah, they didn't come with heart attack labels.
The whole
one person died. Sadly, it was a child. That's it.
2 died
from the chip.
From the chip. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, only one died. Well, the whole original thing with this was that it was out in the open for people to just pour as much as they want, and it wasn't really specified that it was caffeinated. They just called it charged, and it was out there with like the regular drink. So that was the first issue. Then they put it behind the counter, which it is now. So a server has to give it to you. So now you can't just like grab it for yourself. But I think that there should still be some kind of indication that this thing is highly caffeinated. I don't even think that they should take it off the menu per se. I don't think that because, well, here's the deal. It has 230 something grams of caffeine, which is a lot. It's a lot of caffeine.
Damn.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
but I don't know how many grams of caffeine
Wow.
a lot of the energy drinks have. I mean, is it on par with that?
We
I
gonna have
feel
to
like it
do a
is.
little
Let's see. Monster
Google.
Energy caffeine.
You got it. I don't even know
Well,
why I
Monster
try.
Energy is 86 grams. So that's 260 from the Charged Lemonade. But there's also some other kind of weird chemicals that they put in there for energy purposes. So that might be what's hurting people. There's also a bunch of people that I'm sure that absolutely love the Charged Lemonade. It doesn't affect them in a negative way, which I'm sad to hear that for them, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are cracked out, that are going crazy, doing backflips every day, doing splits in their job because they love the Charged Lemonade. So I'm sad to hear that it's going to go for them, because I think that this drink could have a place, but they need to really get strict on how they promote this and how they serve this. I think they really need to promote this as a highly, highly caffeinated drink, so that so once it's bought, it's on the consumer. Like you know that this thing is incredibly caffeinated. It has all these other elements to it, because energy drinks are out there and those don't have age limits on it. But for some reason, this thing is very controversial, and I can see why. It's not very clear how charged, if that's the right word, that's the word they use. This
It's
is
charged enough, apparently.
Yeah, my man's heart needed to be charged back the other day because of this shit.
Brought back to life from a lemonade.
Yeah, so if you're a big fan, sorry to report, it's going bye-bye. And if you haven't had it, give it a shot, but don't die. That thing sounds wicked, man. You would not catch me drinking that.
And I love lemonade. I've been on this whole thing. I've just been trying every lemonade in the area.
You're in a lemonade phase right now?
Yeah.
Really?
Love it.
What
Every
sparked
restaurant.
this? What sparked this?
I don't know. I just wanted to see how different restaurants made it. Like if there's, and the best place so far is a pho place. The second Japanese restaurant near the house.
That is a Vietnamese place.
Yeah, Vietnamese. Yeah.
Japanese, yeah.
The one we went to.
Well, try the Charged Lemonade. Let us know what you think about that. Now, let me tell y'all what I think about the new Strangers movie. Highly, highly anticipated. Okay. Now, I was under the illusion that this was a prequel because it said Strangers Chapter 1. If you don't know, there's a movie called The Strangers that came out in about 2007, 2008. And it's I wouldn't say it's a classic, but it is a very loved movie, I would say. And so they made a new version of it. I thought it was going to be a prequel, and it's going to be a series of 3 movies, but apparently it's not. They remade The Strangers, and now they're going to make 2 movies after that. Okay. So at first I was excited because I love The Strangers. I like to see them, scaring people and creeping in the background and being menacing and all that, right? Crow, I, and Pasty went to see it, so we'll get Crow's opinion on it in a second. So needless to say, I was a big fan of the original. So we go to the theater, we see it, and now that's when I figure out that it's not that it's not a prequel, that is a remake, and I was like, uh-oh. So now I started getting a little suspicious. Then the movie starts, right? And now let me say right now, we're going to give spoilers on this one, especially because it's basically a remake of the first movie. So you all pretty much know what happened in that movie. And trust me, you're not going to want to see this anyway, so it doesn't even matter. This was absolutely disgusting. Terrible movie. Awful movie. Okay? Let me start with the first thing I liked was the actress, the main actress, the woman of the couple. She was the only good thing about this movie. Good actress. That's it. Everything else, trash. So the movie starts. This couple's riding through the woods, and they stop in this small town. And all of a sudden, after they eat, their car mysteriously breaks down. And I go, we're gonna do this now. We're gonna do this trope. The car's breaking down in a strange town. Everybody can tell the town's in on whatever creepy shit is going on.
The white folk look crusty.
Yeah. So they have to stay at a weird Airbnb for the night, okay? Now, here's the first stupid thing that happens. So they go on the Airbnb and they notice that the fridge isn't working. So what do? They call the owner of the Airbnb to come repair the fridge.
Hey, I'm gonna be there for how many days?
They're literally going to be there for one night, right? They were going to be there
One
for
night.
one night, it looked
You
like.
need a working fridge, though.
Why would you need the fridge for one night? You're going to send the repairman out at 10 o'clock at night to fix the fridge. They could have done anything. Or they could have said, oh, the toilet's messed up. Let's make it the toilet. Let's make it the shower. Nope, they made it the fucking fridge. And we're all sitting there like, why do you even need that? Like, you literally have a couple beers. You don't even have anything to put in that fridge, right? But we'll come back to the fridge in just a moment. We'll come back to that.
We'll get there.
So the guy ends up having to go get his inhaler, so he leaves his woman there, and that's when the creepy stuff begins. The father of the strangers is in the house, and this is where they start to really lose me. Because in the original Strangers, I did not like the way they portrayed the strangers in this movie. The original strangers, they were creeping way in the background. They looked menacing. They looked scary. They looked like, I like the outfits that they were in. They looked like they were coming out of church. They looked like very like well put together. This outfit that they picked, they just look like hobos. They don't look well put together at all. They just look like woods people. The father looked like a Jason wannabe. You know what I mean? They just look like people from the fucking woods. When in the original, they just had like a clean cut, almost like you thought they were coming from church look, right? Now, in this movie, they do the whole thing where the father's in the background while the wife is or the girlfriend's walking around. But they do the worst shots you could do, in my opinion. In the original movie, you see the stranger way in the background, in the darkness, and they don't have any music playing. There's no music. It's just silent. And that's what makes that whole beginning of the movie for me, is the silence of everything. And how he's there, but you can't hear him, but you can see him, but she can't see him. In this movie, the angles are terrible. They have where she's just like standing somewhere, and his leg passes the camera, and then he goes boom, 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 like some dramatic, over the top music. And then she's playing the piano, and there's a shot of just like the back of his head, like that's supposed to be scary at all. It's like it's like it's like a third person view of the back of his head, so scary, not. And then there's a part where she's in the shower and he's like literally staring at her and she doesn't know he's there. And they play the dramatic music again. Bah, bah, bah. And I'm like, this is so. I sat next to Mo on purpose in this movie because
yeah. Tell me why.
Because you're so susceptible to jump scares. Like when we went to see The Nun, you were jumping all over it. It was like not scary at all. There was like one scary part. You were jumping all over that movie.
I love the feeling.
You were jumping in The Exorcist. I mean, you were bouncing all over the place from every jump scare, right?
I'm a jumper.
This movie, Mo was as still as can be. He was not jumping at all. My man was just nothing. He was just there like an inanimate object. Okay, they were playing these loud sounds. Mo was just like boring, like lame. So then they get to
This movie was so trash.
It was so bad, guys. It was
so
bad.
I'm so
we're not
sorry.
even at the worst part. Get ready. We're not even at the worst part. So then there's another part where the girl is by herself, the girlfriend, and the daughter stranger comes in and literally stands right in front of her, like right in her fucking face. And the girl sees her because she has like a flashlight on her, freaks out, scurries up the steps, runs and retreats into the room. Right now, at this point, the boyfriend comes back. And for some reason in this movie, they did these shots of the boyfriend's face that were like as zoomed in as you can get. You could see the follicles in this man's hair, the pores in this man's forehead. For some reason, they just zoomed in on this man. Like, if you've ever seen a movie where somebody gets knocked unconscious and they wake up, and it's like that scene where the guy's like, where somebody's in their face, like,
just standing over you.
Yeah, they're standing over
you.
Like, what happened? Good. What happened to you, man? You got hit by the ball.
Wake up.
Yeah, that's what they did for like, I don't know how many scenes in this movie, but there's just like these weird scenes of this guy's face talking to her, right? So then she's like, oh my God, there was people downstairs and I saw them. He's like, did you see somebody or did you see this painting that's way in the background?
Way in the back.
Like, not even in the same area she was in. He was like,
smoke?
She was like, did you see this painting? She goes, maybe it was the painting that literally looked nothing like the girl. It was like far away, not even in the same area. And then he goes, you smoked some weed, didn't you? That's what it was. You're high. It's okay.
Gaslighting.
Yeah, gaslit the shit out of her, right? So fast forward, all hell breaks loose. The strangers, they come in, they barricade. The people barricade themselves in a room. The strangers knock the door down, and then they walk away as if to say, "We're gonna hunt you. We're gonna toy with you." Right? Only part I thought was good was the couple retreated underneath the house and started crawling away from the house, from underneath the house. Right? Mm-hmm. And the girl gets her hand gets stuck with a nail, and the nail goes right through her hand. I thought that was great because I'm like, oh my God, this is a tense situation. They're going to hear her scream. She doesn't scream. But then, for some reason, the guy rips the nail out of her fucking hand.
Hey, I got that.
Why would you do that? Now it's going to bleed everywhere. You're hurting the wound more, and she's gonna scream, which she almost did. And then now they're taking their time down there. He's like, "Oh baby, I'm so sorry that this happened to you." And I'm just like, why don't you get the hell out of there and worry about this later? You're gonna make it worse by ripping it out of her hand. So they commence with running away. A, B, and C happens. They end up with a shotgun, and now it gets insanely dumb. Now they end up splitting up, right? The girlfriend is in the woods with a phone that they got in a car, right? Oh,
are we jumping that part? Okay, we'll let that happen.
Let me rewind a little bit. So the guy comes to fix the fridge, and the boyfriend accidentally shoots him, right? Which happened in the first one, but with his best friend.
Kabooey.
So basically, they're making the remake almost beat by beat, but they're changing little aspects. So instead of shooting the best friend, he shot the repairman, which who didn't need to be there, by the way. Who didn't even need to be there? That man's out at 11 o'clock to fix the fridge they're not even going to use. What are they going to do? Stick their heads in there? Seriously. So he shoots him. He's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I just shot this man. Now, call me crazy, right? You could call me crazy.
You're a crazy fuck.
No, call me crazy for saying this, right? When he shot him, I think to myself, wow, I know you have to escape, and I know you would want to escape, right? But now, if you do escape, how are you going to explain this? You're going to go to the police and say, okay, I shot this guy because there was a bunch of people harassing me and trying to break in the house. You can't prove that they were breaking in the house now. So now you just have a body in this cabin that you shot. How are you going to explain? This guy's going to go to jail for murder. Now, I'm not saying that he should have what he should have. I was just saying what a predicament to be in. You know what I mean? I would almost not want to leave so I can kill them, so I can at least prove that that there was a B&E trying to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying you should do that, but that's what I thought, right? So anyway, casualty happens. They split up. The girl finds a phone in the car. She calls the police. Now, the police talks to her for 40 seconds, right? 30 seconds. And then the call drops. And I go, all right, this is good because the cops have your location already. Just because the call drops, they know 10 seconds in, the cops know where you are. You already said people are going to try and kill you. So now this is looking good, right? This is looking all right.
Good situation to be in, right?
Now all you need to do is hold out for 30 minutes because you're in the middle of nowhere. So for some reason, she gets up and leaves out of her hiding spot. Do you remember why?
Damn it.
I don't remember why. I don't remember why. I'm asking you. I literally do not remember why. So she gets up and she leaves.
Oh, I know she sees the skeleton.
She sees the body.
She sees the body.
Yeah.
She hears the footsteps.
She gets up and leaves, right? So now you pan over.
She heard Ryan screaming her name. Matter of fact, hold on. Before you continue, I fucking hate Ryan.
He's such an idiot.
Ryan is the worst character I've ever experienced in a horror film. I need to learn the actor's name that played Ryan. Because if your intention was for me to hate you so much.
Well, it was how they wrote him.
Oh.
It was how they wrote him. Because listen to this. So they end up in the woods, right? And now they're split up. The girl's running around after she called the cops. Ryan, with the shotgun, ends up in a magical position. You are not going to believe this. We couldn't believe it when we watched it. Ryan ends up behind the mother stranger, because there's 3 strangers. He ends up behind the mother stranger, shotgun to the back of her head now, and nobody's around. They're in the middle of the woods. The other 2 strangers are somewhere else, nowhere near them, right?
Hey, everybody, guess what would you do after hours of people chasing you around trying to kill you? What would you do? 5 seconds.
With a shotgun to the back of the intruder's head, what would you try to do? Everybody guess, right? Oh, I don't know. You try to shoot him in the back of the head, right? And blow the fucking head off. Well, our buddy Ryan decided to stall this out. He put the gun in the back of the head, and then he goes, freeze. I was like, what? He said, drop your weapon. Because she had a knife. He said, drop it slow. I was like, what is he, a cowboy now? Is he like, he's Clint Eastwood? He said, drop your weapon and drop it slowly. I said, no way this guy's going to do this. There's no way he's going to do this. So she drops the weapon, and then he goes, where's my wife? She's not talking to him, right? He should have blew her brains everywhere. Then he goes, turn around. Turn around. Why don't you turn her around with a bullet? Flip her inside out. What are you doing? So he tells her to turn around, and he puts the gun to her forehead, and then she starts grabbing the gun and laughing at him, like basically say, you're a bitch. You're not going to do anything, right? She's like, She's holding it, and he's not shooting her. He should have shot her as soon as she grabbed the gun, but he don't, right? And he goes, you know, they say your first kill is the hardest, but you're my second. And you think, first of all, he's referring to the repairman who did not deserve it. And then you think that's going to, you think the exclamation point is going to be him shooting her in the head.
Boom.
But it's not. He just stands there. She goes, woo, woo. She's just like making freaky noises. And then all of a sudden, Ryan turns around and gets hit in the face by the father stranger. And now he blacks out. And I'm like, you totally ruined that. What a fucking dunce.
Now you know you're retarded.
You could have shot her. The other strangers would have heard the gunshot, came over to see what it was, and you could have shot them both. The other girl was like 12. She would have been blown to smithereens in 2 seconds. Not even a chance. The other guy, you could have took him out. I mean, are you serious? So now, this is the end of the movie. They end up tied up like they do in the original, right? And now I'm telling Mo, all right, I know the movie was bad, but you're going to like this. Because they're going to die. They're going to get killed. The couple's going to die. Now, let's rewind to the beginning of the movie. In the beginning of the movie, they say, there's over 3 million violent crimes happening every day. Every second, there's a violent crime. You're about to see one of the most violent crimes ever. I was like, oh, shit, it's about to get crazy up in here.
Bloody, gory, let's go.
So now, in my brain, I think the couple's tied up. They're about to torture them right now. Like, they milked this whole movie. They waited this whole time. There's no violence, really, because there's not a lot of people to kill. So now it's about to get bloody, gory, nasty. It's about to get wicked, right? So I'm rubbing my hands against. Now I want to see them die because it's so dumb. But really not the wife. But so they got him tied up. They do the whole, oh, we're doing this because you were here. They're acting menacing. And the father, or one of them, stabs the boyfriend in the stomach. And I go, okay, here we go. He twists the knife and kicks the boyfriend's chair over. That's it. I go, all right, well, it's just the beginning. It's the beginning. He's going to chop his head off. He's going to piss in his face. He's going to cut his fingers off and stick him in his wife's mouth. It's about to get crazy right now, right? So
nasty.
The guy, father stranger, gives his axe away to the daughter or somebody, gets another knife. And then he caresses the woman's head with his crotch next to her face as if she's going to give him fucking head. And I'm like, I'm getting uncomfortable because I'm like, is he about to rape her? Like, because that looks like he's about to force his dick in her mouth. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
No.
So he's like stroking her.
Movie.
He's stroking her head and blah, 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 right? And then she goes, fuck you. I go, uh-oh. Now he's about to stick that knife in your mouth. He's about to stick that shit in your eye. He stabs her in the stomach and kicks her chair over. I said, okay, well, now they're going to burn them alive, right? Like, they're going to burn them. Like, they're going to chainsaw them. Like, they're going to do something. Like, they're going to do... I'm thinking back to... This is going to be one of the most violent crimes you've ever seen. And then the police show up. And the strangers grab their stuff, casually, calmly leave the premises, and that's basically the end of the movie, other than the girl surviving, and then the father stranger is in bed with her in the hospital for some reason, and that sets up part 2. I mean...
Now you know you're retarded. Now you know you're retarded.
I gotta do 3.
Now you know you're retarded.
1, the writers. Like, who wrote this and went, that's how people would react. That's how people would act. Somebody that already killed somebody by accident is not going to kill the people chasing them around, right? And then another, are you retarded, for the person who wrote the line, this is going to be the most violent crime you've ever seen. What? And then the third, are you retarded, was for us, for sticking around and finishing the movie, because it was, see, I can't even rate this movie. It was not scary. It was, I mean, the original Strangers is so good, bro. The fucking tension is palpable. Like, they almost have a paranormal element to them, even though they're not, because they're in one place and then they're disappearing, and you know they're not supernatural at all, but they're like, you never know where they are. You never know where they're gonna be. They're popping up. They're here. They're there. They're writing things on the window, and it's like this. In this movie, they even showed them running around, and they showed where they were, when in the other one they weren't doing that. They didn't show you where they were. They were like, oh yeah, the dad's in the woods somewhere, and the mother's over here. I mean, the original was astronomically better. I remember seeing the original in the theater with my parents, and I was scared. I was 13 years old watching that in the theater. I was shook, yo. Every jump scare was crazy. Watching the strangers sneak around was scary to me. That movie was awesome. This movie was hot, straight garbage. There's literally no rating for this. Am I wrong, Crow?
No, you're just absolutely. I feel like there should be a soundbite for this fucking horrible trash movie, and everything that just connects.
They might end up canceling the next 2 movies because this movie got railed. Nobody liked this movie. I have no. Oh, somebody did. Your girlfriend. I forgot.
We didn't even talk about it. I didn't even want to talk to her about the movie, okay? I didn't want to talk to her about the movie. Once she said what she said, I was just like, okay.
Bro, we're shitting all over this movie for like 20 minutes. We go to dinner, me, Pastor, Mo, and Jay, and then we're at dinner, still just totally shitting all over the movie. And then I look at Jay, and I'm like, wait, you haven't said anything the whole time. Like, what do you think about it? I liked it. I almost threw my soup at the person next to me. I was like, what?
Oh, my God.
I can't even fathom somebody like that. I'm telling you right now, like, this is not even a movie where I'm going to say, like, you should see it just to see it. You should not. Watch the original Strangers. Like, that's the only... Even the Strangers 2, Pray at Night, was bad. Like, I did not like that at all. But that was so much better than this. This was astronomically bad. It was so unnecessary. And now they're going to do too many parts.
Soft and gentle. The fact that it was even labeled a horror movie, it's just an insult to all horror movies. It was so bad. No one should allow this to come. Like, you didn't repeat any magic. These new changes, these were like, you did not pay attention to that movie at all.
Unbelievably bad. The first movie, they were at least making some smart decisions. You know, the first one, they get the shotgun, they accidentally shoot the friend. But the one thing I critique I do have about the first movie is once they shot the friend, they should have just went back into hiding and waited it out to kill the other ones. Then they decided to run around like lunatics for some reason. But at least in the first one, the father was about to shoot the wife. The boyfriend was about to shoot the mother stranger. Like, he was lining his shot up to shoot her, and then the father came behind him and hit him in the head, and that's when they got tied up and everything like that. And at the end of the Strangers, they got fucking flayed up. They got cut up. They got stabbed up. It was brutal. Like, you didn't see all of it, but you knew it was happening. And I remember coming out of that movie when I was 13 and hating the ending. Because I've never seen at that time a movie end where, like, the killers won in that way. And maybe, like, Devil's Rejects. But other than that, I really had not seen a movie where the killers won. And they did such a good job to me, the actors in that movie, portraying how scared they were, how frightened they were, all this stuff. So at the end, I really felt for them. And I was like, I remember walking the movie thinking, I hate this ending. I really fucking hate this. And as I got older, I can appreciate it. And I watched it the other day before I watched the new Strangers. And I love it more every time I watch it. I think it's such a great movie. And this was just literally the opposite. This was not necessary at all. Please do not watch
this was a cash grabber through and through. Leave it alone.
I'll tell you what, though, it was still better. It was better than Halloween Ends, though. I'll tell you that. I'm glad that you at least admit that this movie's bad because you liked Halloween Ends, and that was the worst. That was like the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Not the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. That's not true.
I thought it was a whole comedy on purpose, but
No.
I went in there. I went to see that movie with a different perspective.
It's not Halloween is not the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, but it's definitely top 5. It's definitely the worst Halloween movie ever made. But there you go. There's our review of The Strangers. Terrible.
Ryan was such an asshole. I hate him so much.
We have another movie that we want to review right now. Another movie that I was pretty excited for when I saw the trailer because it was a trailer that was, I was very excited.
Me
the trailer
too.
was ambiguous. The trailer was ambiguous. You didn't really know what was going on. So we're referring to the movie called I Saw the TV Glow, an A24 production. I was already excited because it's an A24 production. Now, I'm going to let Crow take the lead on this interview, but before he does, I'm just going to say what the movie was basically about before you go see it. You don't really know much about it. All you know is that there's these two teenagers, and they become obsessed with this show, this 90s show that's basically akin to Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps or something like that. They become obsessed with the show. One day, the show gets canceled out of nowhere, and one of the teenagers disappears. Mo, give us the review, but spoiler free.
This is I'm allowed spoilers, right?
No, spoiler free. We're not gonna spoil.
Oh, I don't like this movie.
Thank God.
I really don't like this movie.
God. Thank God.
I can't tell you how much this movie pissed me off. Because here's the thing. The context. Let me go to like all you guys on TikTok, YouTube, with all your little shorts just advertising this movie. I was really excited. Especially there was a lot of black folks just doing it too. Hate you. I really hate you. I think that you need to stop. And if you got paid, just let us know. And maybe I need to check to see if you getting paid. But that was bad recommendation. That movie was just bad. Just bad. I feel like I watched 2 bad movies back to back.
What was the worst part about it for you?
The worst part to me was that people were saying that this was a horror movie.
It was horrible. Well, there is one shining light about this movie. Well, let's say there's a few, in my opinion. I'm going to get to it. And one of them is a horror aspect of it. I will get to that, but commence.
The story was easy to understand. I understood the story. I wasn't surprised by the story. I understood the layers. I understood the message. I understood everything
there was a
about
message?
This movie. Yes.
What was the message? Leave, get up, and walk away? End this, shut it off? What was the message?
The basic premise was that we, the people, the audience that get addicted to the TV, the thing, disorder from escapism while layering it, right, with the demonic element. So the whole thing was...
I do not think that's true.
I think your
brain came up with any excuse to make this movie good, and you were like, "There has to be a message."
I fully understand this movie.
I'm telling you right now. It's
not a hard.
There's no message in this movie. I'm telling you right now. There's no message in this movie. It's just straight hogwash.
This movie actually had a whole thing. What it was trying to do.
I think you're imagining that because it's so bad.
Slow. It was boring. There was no horror.
Boring. Ooh! It was boring.
I get what they were trying to do with the psychological torture. I get all of it.
No. This it's just like
I get all of it. I see what they were trying to do artistically.
It was just like, what am I watching after an hour? That's what I was thinking. What? Because okay. So this is what I enjoyed about it. The aesthetic of the movie was fun. It was dark and it was almost depressing, I would say. It was like a melancholy, depressing movie because you follow these two kids who are totally depressed.
That's the villain's name.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
There are, let me tell you, there are some shining aspects to this movie, which I'm going to get into. But one of them is the melancholy aspect of the movie. The kids are depressed. Home lives they suck. Okay. And you could just, you could feel it through the screen, how just sad the movie is and dark. But it's not scary dark. It's just like depressing, right? So they end up being kindred spirits over this show. The girl goes missing. That's in the trailer. I didn't spoil anything. The girl goes missing. And then years go by, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. But about an hour into the movie, right, I was like, okay, you had me at the premise that they're obsessed with the show and the girl goes missing. And now this is getting too slow. Something needs to happen. She went missing, and now what? You know, years have passed, and then all of a sudden, something happens. I'm not going to say, but you know what it is, Crow. There's a development in the story, right? And we go to a bar. And then all of a sudden, there's two random songs. It becomes a musical out of nowhere. There's two random songs, and I'm like, we're hearing the full songs. Like, what is happening, right? Then all of a sudden, a plot point comes. We get a development in the story, and I go, all right, that's cool. I like that a lot. And you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
You're following me, right? I go, that is cool. Now we find out what's going on with this show, and it's not really, it's like a possibility. We're like, is that true? Is that real? We're about to find out, though, right? So then I would say you get another high. I'm kind of high when the movie starts, and then it's like, you go down. Then you get another high. The roller coaster goes up because I'm like, all right. Now I'm like, yo, the tension is up. The aggression, there's like aggressive music. It's getting tense. Like, it's about to get crazy right now. And then it goes down. And I'm like, okay. But then there's kind of a new development. You know when the tape shows up?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then he watches the final episode.
Yep.
And let me say this. Chef's fucking kiss to the creators for creating that show in the movie. When they the show is better than the actual movie. What they're watching is far better than the actual movie. He ends up watching the final episode of this show, right? And it's dark. It's scary. It's like violent. I mean, it's unsettling. And I'm like, whoa, like this is fucking cool. You get the villain comes out. You see all this crazy shit that's going on. I'm like, oh, this is wicked. This is nice, right? And then you think, all right, I know where this is gonna go. This is gonna go to A, B, and C, and now the movie's really gonna get going. And then literally, the movie ends. No real resolution to anything. Literally, the movie ends. And you're like, what did I just watch? I was literally teased for an hour and a half. It was like unbelievable when it ended. It ended and I went, what? Because it ended on another kind of high note, right? You were almost like, all right, he finished watching the show. You get another low point, but now something happens. You think everything's going to break loose, and then it ends. And nothing, like literally nothing happened. I thought that they had a great opportunity with the story. The story to me was fantastic. And I heard that this was kind of ripped off, or there was inspiration taken from a creepypasta, I think called Candle Cove, if you know about that, which I've never read. But I think they did a tremendous job with outlining the story, with what this movie was about, what this ended up being about, how this could have played out was it would have been far better if it played out the way it did in my mind. And I think you thought basically, how should I put this? You thought that he was going to do something about that, right? and it was gonna
Yes.
and it was gonna spiral into something bigger.
Yes.
Did not happen.
Because he had the evidence.
He had the evidence that something otherworldly was going on. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
And then
He had all the evidence.
Credits.
It was right in his face.
And then credits. And it's almost like what we said with The Strangers when the guy had the shotgun. You have the shotgun to the intruder's head. You know they're trying to kill you, and you don't pull the trigger. That's essentially how this movie ended. And it's like you could have went so much further with this movie. This could have played out so much better. And in my mind, this movie was going to be awesome once I figured out what it was about. And I went, all right, they're going to do X, Y, and Z. It may not play out that exact way, but it's going to be around this. It's going to be around that. And it literally wasn't. It was terrible. They teased. This movie was just a big tease. Am I wrong?
It was just a bad hand job.
It was just one. Yeah, it was like a hand job, and then somebody puts their mouth on your cock and they take it off, and they keep doing. They keep taking. They put it there and then they take it off, and they put it. They go and they take it off. That's the best way to put it. And then they just walk away, and then that's it.
Don't blow my pop.
Unbelievable. I mean, again, aesthetically fantastic, super cool. Story, I would dare to say amazing. The story that was laid out.
No, it was great.
But the execution was absolutely deplorable.
It took so long.
It took
to get to anything.
It took so long to get to the final episode of the show.
And these years jumps, these 20 years.
Oh my God.
8 year.
Oh my God.
The worst. Did you notice when he just randomly started? When did he just get a camera? He just started recording himself.
I don't even know what you're even talking about, because I think I blocked it out of my mind. Because he starts talking to the camera. He starts talking to you.
Like, yes, he does.
So and it's just like, why? Like, you have this great story in front of you, and that's how you choose to play it out. It was remarkable how much they dropped the ball. I've seen a few A24. I really liked Talk to Me, and I really liked Civil War. This was an epic bomb. This was a bomb of magnificent proportions.
I like what they would consider plot B, but like to me was like that's actually the plot you should be paying attention to. But that plot, character and villain, awesome, and getting those scenes were my favorite part
of the show. Of the pink, what was it called? The pink.
Yes.
The pink something.
The pink. Oh fuck!
What the hell? Well, anyway, the show was awesome. The show that they were watching was epic. And you were almost like, can we just keep watching that? Can we just keep watching the show that they're playing? Like, seriously. I would say, though, go see this movie just to see what you think about it. Maybe you'll like it. I think it's like very on the artsy side when it comes to
it's very artsy.
How it ended, and it's up for your interpretation. What it actually, I mean, Mo's coming up with interpretation I never even thought of because I haven't even thought about it. I don't think it. I really don't think it has many messages in it,
bro. There's a lot of stuff there. Literally, it's just the execution was horrible.
Literally nothing. So let us know.
Plot B was great though. If we can get a movie with just that.
Yeah, let's get a movie where it's just a show they were watching. I would love that. I would love that so much. So there you go. Go check it out. Let us know what you think about that. Do not watch The Strangers. I got a little bit of news, though, speaking of movies, and this one hopefully does not disappoint. Because in December of 2025, we are getting a new Five Nights at Freddy's movie. The sequel is coming! Matthew Lillard posted a photo of him dressed up as William Afton on Instagram. He confirmed it. It's confirmed. It is out there. All the big Five Nights at Freddy's YouTubers have confirmed it. I am so excited for FNAF because this is what I think they're gonna do. This is what I hope they're gonna do, because I thought they knocked it out of the park when it came to the last movie, except for one aspect. It was not scary enough. I think it needed to be darker. I think it needed to be a little scarier. I know that they want to make it essentially for the family because a lot of kids love Five Nights at Freddy's. It's obvious. I don't think they need to take it over the top, but I think they need to turn up the scariness a little bit. Wrong or right?
Right.
That's what we agreed.
I don't need to see a little girl dancing with Freddie though. No more.
You don't want to see it. Yeah,
so let's skip that.
That's over. I didn't really mind it in the first movie, but I don't need to see her playing with Freddie and Bonnie again. I didn't really care. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered everybody though.
I
thought
like we could have used that for a kill.
I thought it made sense because they're still children in the suit, so it was like it made sense to me, but it could have been scarier. So we get it in about what, a year and a half? It's almost December now of 2024. So
it's December 25?
Yeah, 2025.
Okay, yeah, that is fast. Okay.
So they're probably filming it right now. You know, they're getting everything together.
Get the box. They have everything. They just gotta build a new set.
So check it out. And also check out the 6-hour spectacular coming May 28th, baby. That's right. Be there or be square. You already know where to find us. We're on Spotify.
How many softballs can I handle?
How many? And what's going to be the twist? What are we going to add to it?
Mm.
How did Leonard lose his virginity? You'll find out. You already know where to find us. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on YouTube. We are everywhere, baby. Peace and love. See you on the 6-hour spectacular.